Dr. Ladi Kwali is a national icon. Her image appears on Nigeria's currency. Her name adorns institutions and public spaces.
Dr. Ladi Kwali broke the barrier that she was given a title in the then Abuja. She became the ear of Abuja, which is that title was only reserved for the royalty.
She took Nigerian pottery to the global stage. Yet, the very centers that bear her name now stand in silence. The Ladi Kwali Poultry Center in Suleja and other facilities meant to preserve her legacy are today abandoned, dilapidated and in ruins. But beyond crumbling buildings, an even deeper question lingers. Whose version of Ladi Kwali are we remembering? Over the years, her identity has been blurred by conflicting accounts. Some say she was Gbari, others insist she was Gbari. What is the difference? Was she truly from Suleja or from Kwali? This documentary goes beyond history. It asks critical questions about the life, legacy, and identity of one of Nigeria's most celebrated artists, Dr. Ladi Kwali. Ladi Kwali remains one of Nigeria's most iconic cultural figures. She is celebrated for projecting Nigeria's ceramics onto the world stage. Her works sit proudly in some of the world's most prestigious museums. She's remembered as a bridge between African tradition and cultural modern art. Yet, for a figure of such stature, fundamental questions about her identity continue to shimmer with ambiguity.
Ladi Jimbaye Hadiza Kwali were her full names, and she was born to a family, Jimbaye family in Kwali. So definitely, this is a Gbari family that gave birth to her. And the names also show Dosei, which means everything has time, or there is time for everything. Ladi is the name suggesting that she was born on a Sunday, right? So Jimbaye means people are suspicious of me. These names really prove that she was a Gbari woman. Gbari, it's a family, a member of the Nuport group. And Gbagi is also a member of the, language family, Nuport language family. So they are related from source, but got separated linguistically at a point. And so they stand as two different languages. The Gbari people want to be known or identified as Gbari. The Gbagi people also have that desire to be identified as Gbagi. But then, the Gbagi people are suggesting that let the name Gbagi be a cover term for all. All right? And that is not acceptable by the Gbari people, because using the cover term Gbagi for two different language groups is hiding the other and making the other identity, obsolete or go into extinction.
This is Kwali, the village that gave her its name. Born around 1925, Ladi Kwali grew up within the Gbari tradition, where poultry was largely the work of women, passed from generation to generation, from aunt to niece. From an early age, her talent stood out.
She did not emerge outside her environment. She emerged within the culture, the practices, the tradition of her environment. We are known for pottery. She was not the first potter. but she is the most renowned potter. So she just came out and picked what we have, what our ancestors handed down to us originally, and became a genius from our God-given culture, and built what she had. She didn't have to go to Harvard to go and learn some kind of different culture, but she's somebody who this country should not joke with. She's somebody we should always reckon with, because how she utilized her local environment, develop it to the level that it transcended up to the global stage. And I think that is what she stands for. And her only identity with Suleja was that Suleja was the headquarters, and she had to work there. And since we were part of the Abuja local government, she was also there doing her works and the rest of them.
Her pots, decorated with lizards, scorpions and fish, were so sought after they were often sold out before reaching the market.
She learned the acts of pottery under one of our aunts known as Zunyari. Generations to come. You see, you don't just see a pot. When you see a pot, there are designs, patterns. But Ladi Kwali's pattern took after the fauna family. In Ladi Kwali's pattern, it was depicting an harmonious relationship between the fauna family. Sometimes you see lizard, with different inscription. Ladi Kwali family had their own identity mark. They have a trademark. In those days, even up to today, during markets, when the people of Dapa were coming to the market with their own pots, you'll be able to know this is Dapa's pot. You'll be able to know this pot is from Shana. So up till today, as family members, if you see Ladi Kwali's pot anywhere, we are able to identify because of that family trademark. And it is a continuation because it was in the family. Even when my mom took over, they were using the same type of pattern. Now, what makes Ladi Kwali's pot one of the best was, I've told you earlier that Kwali produced one of the best clay in the country. 2, because of her trademark, inscription, the inscriptions she make on such pots. If you look at Ladi Kwali's, they were reptiles she was using. Then secondly, you realize that Ladi Kwali used some very simple instrument to bring out design. So I think it was the ability of her to be able to put an artistic skill into her work that brought her out. Because her inscriptions were different from that of others. Now, another thing is, apart from those designs made by Ladi Kwali, you realize that when a woman is building a pot, there is a time limit. If you bring 3 women to build pot, the other person may be faster, while others are not up to her. So Ladi Kwali could build her pots within a limited given time. Then with the exposure taken to Suleja, it became a different thing. So these were some of the things that distinguish Ladi Kwali from others.
Her reputation spread far beyond her village. Her work caught the attention of the then Emir of Abuja, Alhaji Suleiman Barrow, who became a collector of her pieces. It was at the Emir's palace around 1950 that her destiny changed. There, a British potter, Michael Cardew, hired by the colonial government, encountered her work for the first time.
And before then, the then Emir of Suleja, Suleiman Barrow, wherever he comes to Kwali, he bought wares, he bought pots, and he took it to them in Suleja. In short, his palace was decorated with the pots made by Dr. Ladi Kwali. So in 1950s, when the northern government set up a pottery center in Suleja, then it was known as Abuja. They set up a pottery center over there, and they sent a white man named Michael Cardew to come and take charge of that very pottery center. It was from there that Michael Cardew saw the pots that was made by Dr. Ladi Kwali, and he inquired about who made this pot. And the emir of Suleja told him that the person that made this pot is from Kwali, known as Ladi Kwali. So they traced Dr. Ladi Kwali down to Kwali, and that is how Dr. Ladi Kwali was discovered.
Impressed by her skills, Cardew invited Ladi Kwali to join the pottery training center he established in Suleja in 1952.
People that were managing the place were Ladi Kwali herself and a British potter called Michael Cardew. He was the one that trained her, though before then she has acquired the skills from her auntie. So later on, around 1954, she now acquired the modern method of making pot by Michael Cardew.
Michael Cardew taught her the Western techniques, which is that of the wheel. Ladi Kwali also taught Michael Cardew the Gbari traditional pottery techniques. So I think it was in Suleja that she decided to blend the two, both the traditional and the modern. Even while in Suleja, she didn't leave the traditional. She was still stick to her traditional, but there was an advancement to the Western technique.
From that point, her rise was meteoric. Ladi Kwali gained international recognition. She was awarded an MBE by the British government, received an honorary doctorate, and earned Nigeria's highest academic honor.
It will interest you to know that Ladi Kwali, whatever fame she had in life, it was as a result of her skills, as a result of her handwork. Ladi Kwali did not go to the four-corner classroom. She didn't attend any school. She didn't go through formal education. She had no formal education. But it is her entrepreneurial skills that took her to where she got to in life. You know, with that symbiotic relationship with Michael Cardew, there was a transformation. And it will interest you to know that as the result of her skills, Dr. Ladi Kwali became a professor of art because she went to many universities out of this country. In short, she toured the whole continent of this world. It will interest you that Dr. Ladi Kwali visited 58 countries just because of the work of art, to show people how to build pots. And it was as a result of her contribution, as a result of this, the display of her skills, that the Ahmadu Bello University, ABU Zaria, in 1972, gave her the honor, gave her a doctoral degree, honorary causa, in literature. She became a doctor of letters in 1972 by Ahmadu Bello University. Apart from that, there are other honors, that even some of these honors came after her demise. It will interest you to know that at the time Dr. Ladi Kwali rose to prominence, as of then, most women were not given such opportunity. You know, most women in northern Nigeria and the Middle Belt, they were seen as second-class citizens. They didn't have a say. They didn't have a say because of the Islamic influence. You know, in Islamic religion, women don't have a say. But Dr. Ladi Kwali, out of her skills, she went and she was able to come into prominence because of her skills. She went to Harvard University, she went to Oxford University, and many other great universities in the world to teach the art of pottery. So I think it shows us that it is not only through formal education that one could become great. Every human being is born with a potential. But what matters is, one, for you to identify that potential. Two, to maximize the potential. Three, to put those potentials into use. And that was what Dr. Ladi Kwali did.
This is where it all happened. The site known today as the Ladi Kwali Poultry Center, Suleja, where Michael Cardew and Ladi Kwali once worked side by side. But now there is no activities here. Once a world-class center that attracted students from Europe and America, producing hundreds of pots daily. The kilns are cold, roofs have collapsed. What remains is a ghost town, a monumental tragedy.
Yeah, the preservation of her legacy in Nigeria is given passive attention. I have to be frank with that. Because knowing fully well the impact, international impact that this woman made, I expected by now that there should have been a kind of special museum documenting all these artifacts, right? And like you have observed, it's really unfortunate that if you want to see what she really made, that you have to travel outside the country. But in her own home country, nothing to show about, nothing. Yes, she was given all the titles, OON, and all this national recognition. But then, when the grandchildren want to identify what is it, where is it, nothing to show. In fact, the Ladi Kwali Pottery Center in Kwali is just a name. If you enter that place, it's an eyesore. Nothing. So she's not really honored as far as her artifacts are concerned. And I think it's what the government should take it up.
In 2022, the center was renovated with promises of revival. It was meant to create jobs, boost tourism, and honor the legacy of Ladi Kwali. Today, those promises remain largely unfulfilled.
Actually, the place was renovated by Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development in collaboration with Niger State government. So the moment they did the handing over, after that there was changing of government. So we are believing that. Anyway, the government has been working hard to see how they can put the place in use, bringing the place back to life, like to start a production work, making of pots, cups, and other things.
Records show that the last time any meaningful production took place here was in the 1990s. Here at the Ladi Kwali Poultry Center, Kwali, her hometown, the story is strikingly similar. Aside from a handful of staff maintaining the premises, there is little to no activities. Unlike Suleja, this center has allegedly received no significant funding.
When FCT was to be formed, the administrators were just concerned about the land and not transferring people and the identity. And that is why Dr. Ladi Kwali's presence is still strong in Suleja. The royalties are not even paid here. Everything accruing to her is not even paid to the family, is not paid to anybody. So it's still there. If the FCT administration had owned her and said, okay, we want to transfer Dr. Ladi Kwali properly to us, because it's not our responsibility as a family. She's a national property. She's a national image. It's expected that the FCT administration would have pulled her here with all her artworks, if necessarily leave that of Suleja and build a befitting center here in Kwali. And that is one of the most unfortunate stories concerning her. It might even interest you to know that even decisions that were made within the FCT administration of issues concerning her were not properly carried out. This I'll bring you. When Bill Clinton was to visit Nigeria and they wanted to build the Bill Clinton village, and the essence was to recreate Dr. Ladi Kwali and her stories around the village. Where did they take it? It was Wishafa they took it to. While Dr. Ladi Kwali is from Kwali, and Kwali is here, and Kwali is part of FCT. That is that. Now, to the expectation, Dr. Ladi Kwali is a brand. Her artwork is also a brand, and it's generic. We expect that if such center is there, such befitting center is there, we will leverage from it. First, the federal government can leverage it to as one of its heritage sites in the world. It can be the national heritage site, that's one, and then get it listed to one of these heritage sites in the UNESCO records. That's one. Number two, another expectation is that the tourismpreneur, the tourism economy, that would have been able to expand, build, and make serious economy out of the center. First, she represents gender representation. That's one. Especially in this week where we're talking about gender advocacy. She's also an inspiration to women development in the whole. So many researches could be carried out around that. And it could be a rallying point for gender studies, gender advocacies, gender development in the country. Another reason that it could just, we can also have her artworks display in order to continue with her legacies. Now the center there, nobody is developing that. This was the same pottery that took her to the length and breadth of this world. But again, there's nobody to continue that. Why? Because it's not part of their culture. They don't own it. It's not the Hausa man's culture to build pot. It is our culture to build pot. And since the pot, the person who was building it there is late, who else is building it? So if we transfer it here, our people will be able to, it will be easier for us to resonate with it and then give ourselves to developing the center. First, because it's part of our culture to do that. And there will be a transition. We'll be looking at producing other Dr. Ladi Kwali. Who knows? We might get someone who will surpass her records. As a part of the reasons why the center is dormant is that. And then again, it could be a source of jobs. Of course, if you bring in tourism here, source of jobs, it's going to develop this place. It has a lot to give us as people, as FC, even the FCT administration will benefit a lot.
Ladi Kwali was a village potter who became a global studio artist. She fused traditional Gbari motifs with white slate decoration and high-temperature kilns firing, creating a powerful hybrid of heritage and innovation. Yet today, most of our work resides outside Nigeria in foreign institutions. Her name is legendary, but the places most centered to her story tell two conflicting tales. One of a living tradition still struggling to be recognized as the true source of our legacy, another of abandoned monuments and broken promises. The most urgent question now is no longer about our past, but about the future. The clear is silent in Suleja and Kwali. What will it take to make it speak again?